Hi everyone, I'm SycamoreOmega. In today's video, I'm taking a look at the Aegis Sabre in Star Citizen 3.1 PTU. Why the PTU? Well, because I can, and it gives more video of how great 3.1 is looking so far. Plus, from what I can tell, not a lot has changed on the Sabre from 3.0, other than some UI changes that are appearing across all ships. The Aegis Sabre is categorized as a stealth fighter by CIG, and is meant to be a step up in space superiority. The ship has become a bit of an icon in Star Citizen, being showcased on the menu screen of electronic access, and just for how cool it looks. To me, I think the Sabre is by far one of the best looking fighters in the game. It has big intakes on the front, wide swept wings that move when the gear come down, multiple exhaust ducts on the back, all with a flat, low profile that's just mean looking. The Sabre is available in two versions, the Base and Comet. This variation is much like the Gladius Valiant, being it comes with a new paint scheme and different weapon loadout. There is also the Sabre Raven, which is a derivative of the Base Sabre, but is very much its own ship. I'll be trying to do a review of the Raven in the future, but let's get back to the Base Sabre. The Sabre was designed to be a next-generation fighter for the UEE Navy that brought enhanced space superiority capabilities for a wide range of combat engagements. Essentially, a stealth multi-role fighter that uses the same great Aegis avionics systems pilots are used to in previous fighters and ships. While the Sabre is not adopted yet by the UEE Navy, it's available to authorized civilian market customers for mercenary and defense. The Aegis Sabre represents a true all-in-one medium fighter that can step into many different situations and handle most without much compromise. The ship is a step up in my mind from the Gladius, and while I don't have too much personal experience, to me it's a slightly better ship in my mind to the Hornet. The reason I say this is because of its versatility. While the Anvil Hornet line is filled with great ships, especially when it comes to firepower and maneuverability, it needed to be retrofitted into different versions to do a lot of the things that the Sabre does well. The Sabre really fits its role as a true multi-role ship. It doesn't do one thing perfectly, but it's an overall force to be reckoned with. I like this dynamic. The verse isn't here yet, and while we think we know what it will be, I want a ship that can let me decide roles when I get there. The best way I can put this is, it feels like the Sabre does 80 to 90% of what the Hornet line does combined. Sure, I don't have the massive firepower of the Super Hornet, but I still have a lot of firepower. Sure, it's not as rugged of a platform like the Ghost, but it's more stealthy. The Sabre will rely on its low footprint on the battlefield and in hostile areas to get a good amount of firepower on the target. The base version of the Sabre comes with all energy weapons and 4 size 3 missiles. On the nose, there are 2 gimbaled CF-227 Badger repeaters, and on the wings there are 2 size 3 CF-337 Panther repeaters. There are 2 MSD-423 missile racks, each able to fit 2 size 3 missiles. The included missiles are 2 FSKI Arrestor 3 cross-section missiles, and 2 Thunderbolt 3 EM missiles. I try to save the missiles for medium targets because of their size. They make really quick work of any ships larger than the Sabre and allows the Sabre to punch a little above its weight. Most smaller targets are easily taken care of with the repeaters, especially at close range where it's very easy to get all 4 guns on the target. The base loadout is my preferred setup, and I don't really like the Comet weapon set. The Comet's weapons have a really low rate of fire, and if you don't make the most out of your time on target, it can be a frustrating dogfighter. Right now, stealth isn't really implemented, but we have a general idea of how it will work in the verse, including blending our ship's output signatures to the ambient energy in space and around objects, as well as maintaining a low cross-section or profile. I don't look to the Sabre as an end-all be-all option to stealth, since the mechanic will be based on player technique, just not the construction of the ship. To me, the Sabre is my favorite fighter in the game as the verse gets closer. I plan to use the Sabre in an escort and support role for my larger ships in my fleet. Also, I look forward in using it for mercenary work and getting a jump on targets. The platform is one that allows for an interesting strategy without feeling like you're in a glass house if that stealth strategy falls apart. A use I'd really like is if the Sabre fits into a Polaris, which it looks like it will be able to, and I'd like to use it to scout ahead undetected for the main group of ships. Now, looking at the maneuvering performance numbers, I was very happy with the numbers when I measured them, and it looks like they haven't changed from 3.0 to 3.1 so far. Once the public release of 3.1 comes out, I'll compare them again and report any changes. I split my maneuvering stats into 3 categories: minimum, half, and maximum effort. Each requires the ship to lose more forward speed to complete the maneuver. First, looking at pitch control minimum effort at top SCM speed. This resulted in a 1.7 kilometer turn radius at 9 degrees a second. Half effort gave us a 394 meter turn radius at 20 degrees a second, and at maximum effort we maintain a forward speed of 26 meters per second, we turn at 109 degrees a second, and a 13.7 meter turn radius. To put this in perspective, these numbers are a little better than the Gladius when maintaining forward speed, which is good considering the size of the ship. Next, yaw control, which impressed me. Minimum effort gave a 1 kilometer turn radius at 15 degrees a second. Half effort, which gave a 254 meter turn radius at 31 degrees a second. And at maximum effort, we maintained a forward speed of 41 meters per second, turned at 103 degrees a second, and had a turn radius of 23 meters. Again, yaw control compared to the Gladius was better when maintaining forward speed. Both yaw and pitch maximum effort was slower, but moving such a large ship, this is to be expected. Comparing the two axes, we see that using yaw will allow the Sabre to turn onto the target faster with forward speed. This can be useful if you need to close the distance quickly to get all guns on target at a closer range. Measuring the Sabre's acceleration, we can see its top speed of 1235 meters per second takes 11.75 seconds and requires 7.3 kilometers. Again, this is very fast, and you'll see GFX in the game because of the acceleration. Going to SCM maximum speed at 275 meters per second takes 3.2 seconds and requires 440 meters. This is pretty average, but the Sabre makes up for it with the afterburner numbers. I tend to think this is because if your stealth strategy fails, you may be able to bug out quickly. Looking at the deceleration numbers, we can see that the Sabre is able to decelerate from cruise very quickly. 1235 to 0 takes 9.5 seconds and requires 5.9 kilometers. Again, GFX are present, so maneuvering may cause blackout. Decelerating from SCM is essentially the same as accelerating, requiring 444 meters to stop. These numbers are really good if you consider that they are a little bit better than the Gladius when maintaining forward speed, considering the size of the ship and the heavy firepower you get. In atmospheric flight, the Sabre feels very, very stable and has a lot of power. So much power that if you're not careful, it will easily exceed the maximum safe speed in some environments. In the fighters that I have flown in atmosphere, I would be most comfortable engaging targets with the Sabre. Also, while dogfighting, the Sabre feels like a heavier Gladius, but with a faster throttle reaction, which makes staying behind targets very easy. I haven't really come into an engagement where a target was able to slow down faster than me to try to get me to go by or turn around on me at slow speed. Most of the time, they end up trying to turn around at low speed with me getting effective shots on them. This doesn't come automatically in the Sabre and won't work 100% of the time, because you do need to throttle down at the right time and not become a sitting duck yourself. It's just a strategy that works for me. Looking to the future, the Sabre is set to become a force in the Star Citizen verse and should become not only a specialty fighter, but like in my case, I'm betting on it becoming my go-to fighter for most things in the verse. I really can't wait to see the mechanics that the Sabre will take advantage of, and we'll be doing further videos about the Sabre as they come online. That's all for now, so what do you think? Will the Sabre be a great multi-role answer, or is the Hornet platform the way to go? Leave it in the comments. Remember to hit subscribe for more videos. I know I've been doing a lot of ship reviews lately, but there will be some more things coming soon. I'm SycamoreOmega, and thanks for watching. Thanks for watching today's video. Are you new to Star Citizen and are looking to get into the verse? Use the code above to get an extra 5,000 UEC added to your account when you sign up. See you again soon!